Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Frontier Mondays. That's right. We're back in the studio. I am the guy. I am me. I am CCP Jötunn, joining you live from our studio here in lovely, sunny Reykjavik today. And today we're going to be talking about something exciting and interesting and not something you've seen a whole lot of before, which is to say base building. And to join me on this quest to talk about what is going to be happening in Frontier, the game that we are working on, the one that the one you read about sometimes on Reddit. Shout out to Reddit. I've been joined by my good friends, my colleagues, my trusted confidants, CCP Hex and CCP Irmageddon. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Hello.
Here. I absolutely did not put this together at the absolute last second and then drag you both in here, force you to work over your weekend to get this presentation together, and then have you do a live demonstration today.
Absolutely
Certainly
not.
It was nothing like that.
Absolutely unplanned.
Yeah, totally planned, top to bottom the whole way. Also, shout out to CCP Overload. He does not have a button that he can press to make air horn sounds, but I want you to know that he is here both in spirit and in body. So, ladies, greetings, salutations. It is a pleasure to have you both. Of course, CCP Hex, you've been here before. If you do not know CCP Hex is a UI UX designer. She often comes in here and shows us all kinds of cool designs that they've worked on, things that are ideas. CCP MS Paint is what CCP Overload said a moment ago. This is, perhaps...
Rude.
Perhaps, but CCP Armageddon, you are not new to the team. You're an OG. Not OG. You're older than I am, aren't you? When did you get here?
A little older than you.
A little older
Can't
than
you
me.
tell?
Wow, yeah. I stepped in that one. But what do you're on the Frontier team. What do you do? What is your task? What's your job?
That is a good question, CCP Jötunn. I implement what CCP Hex and CCP Cake Machine design.
Indeed.
I make things work.
Yes. So you're an engineer.
Yes, software engineer.
Software engineer. CCP, the one who actually does something in this company. And unlike myself, who just comes up here and talks, we actually do have people here who go in there and do the work of making the computers do the things you want them to do.
Sometimes you walk around and look at what we're doing and say, good job.
Yes, I do that. I do a lot of that, actually. I this morning was even criticized. I was walking by CCP... What is his CCP name? CCP Overload? We were standing there looming over the shoulder this morning, looking at something they were working on in art. CCP Lodo. Is it CCP Lodo? Okay. Him. We were lurking over his shoulder, and I just came up just to see what was going on, just to peruse the. And CCP Overload, do you need something? I'm like, no, I'm just here for the vibes, baby.
No, you always come up and then can you do a stream in 2 days?
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
that is true too.
Sure.
I am very bad about, and this is maybe why people have gotten kind of cagey about showing me things. Because the moment I see something that's kind of cool, I'm like, hey, you know what this would be great on? A stream.
100%. That's exactly what has happened here
Hell
as
yeah.
well.
So
a few times.
well, more than once. Okay, so let's take a step back. So we met with CCP Cake Machine on Friday. Myself and CCP Overload talked with him about some stuff that we've been working on over the last couple of weeks. We talked about some new structures in base building. We talked about some changes that have come to base building and Frontier. Base building is kind of a central concept of what we do, right? Because we're trying to create this survival MMO. And part of surviving is the universe will eventually, it's not currently, will eventually be a harsh place to live. That is full of danger and treachery and all kinds of stuff. So you need a place where you can come home, keep your stuff, build out something that is uniquely you, and it becomes part of your identity, part of your brand, and is a place where you can feel safe. Maybe that feeling is unwarranted, but it is a place that you can feel
A sense of home.
A sense
of
home.
relative safety in the way that you also have to be defensive about protecting your home.
Right. So we, since base building is such a big deal, it's come under a lot of focus. It's one of the things whenever we do these end of cycle surveys and stuff, people always talk about. I mean, obviously they want new ships and stuff too, which those are also coming, by the way. But I mean, base building is always huge. People want to be able to play Rust, play Factorio, play SimCity in space. So we talked about some things that have changed with CCP Cake Machine the other day, but then on Friday after that stream, I happened to be walking by, I had a meeting with CCP Hex talking about some stuff that you are all working on currently, actively, and some things that players are going to be seeing tomorrow.
Yes.
In our patch tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, of course, big day, obviously, for us here at CCP. Tomorrow is the Catalyst expansion for EVE Online, which is a pretty big deal. But we also have not an expansion necessarily, just a patch, adding in some cool stuff. And we're going to talk about that stuff and some upcoming stuff here soon. So, what order do you want to do this in? Do you want to show them what's going to be coming tomorrow first, or do you want to show them your stuff first?
I think
Your
maybe let's just start with showing you guys how like this feature is coming together as a whole.
So we're going to go to this screen here, I believe is the one. Yes, correct. So we're in CCP Hex did put this together at the last minute. Thank you so much, CCP Hex, for making this thing happen because I love your presentations, always very good.
Thank you.
And two, it would have been really awkward if we just had to sit here staring at each other talking about this stuff. So take it away. You have the board here.
Thank you. Well, so we met up last Friday, and I just wanted to kind of go over build mode. We've been having that as a focus starting point for a while now, and kind of it is not good at the moment.
Yeah, a little rough.
It is. It's a little rough around the edges, and a lot of changes that we've been wanting to make, just quality of life changes and all of that. So we've kind of planned out really nice updates that will be coming soonish.
Right.
Our approach here is we are planning for them holistically.
Yep.
We release once we have something ready and workable.
Sure.
It's released.
Yeah.
Right. We want you guys to test everything, give us the feedback.
Right.
All that good stuff.
And to your point, the version of this that we have in game currently is, I think, probably a little rough. It was kind of thrown together early on when we needed something that we had to put in game, but it was I think you would probably agree the plan was always to like really this is true about a lot of things in game right now. We had a lot of when we were trying to pull away from the old EVE UI and a lot of those old systems, we were just kind of putting things in place that could be the building blocks of what would come.
Yeah.
And now we're at the point where those building blocks are now like
Exactly. It's more like the past 2-3 years maybe it's been more of like getting the placeholders in the ish direction that we are trying to go to, and then like now we actually have the processes, the opportunities, and the more solid direction of like fully like iterating. I'm not gonna say final, but not as a placeholder.
Right.
In that
something
same
that we can
sense,
actually like be happy with.
Exactly. And this is definitely one of those projects. So, yeah.
Oh, you've done it now.
Now the clicker's
overload.
not
Look
working.
At this. Look at this man. He's clicking
all
too
this
much.
build up.
Hi.
There you go. Now you should
There
do
you
it.
go.
There we go.
All right. There. All right. So we had like gone into exploration, identified the problems that were like with the current build mode that we have. One of those was that also like we only had it on like a
horizontal plane.
Horizontal plane.
Not ideal.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we added the function of like
up and down.
Up and down.
What a novel concept.
Crazy concept.
Crazy
idea.
I know,
insane, right?
But that created another problem, which is we are not visualizing the boundaries of your claim like properly on that axis.
Sure.
Right? So because it's a sphere, so it would be really like awkward if you like drag it to the end of the property and like try dragging it up and you would hit like an invisible wall that would kind of just slide you along.
Yeah.
And so like as a short-term solution we did like put up these basically copy paste of like the red line that's on the edges of that currently.
Yeah.
Yes, you have 3 circles now to show the border.
So yeah, that was a temporary fix. But this is basically the inspiration here that we're going for. We want it to be like this. You could zoom in, zoom out. You could see the property like fully.
Sure.
But then also we want to go with this project for the customizability aspect of it. So this is the current concept of visualizing the boundaries of where you can build within.
Okay.
and giving you like clear. So we're gone through this type of like sphere, which will be toggleable on and off. You could also customize it invisibility, so the opaqueness of it. That sphere will then also give you some sort of location restriction indicator as well, similar to this. And even in the case of you having it off, like you don't have the sphere visible, this visual indicator should still
be there.
So
even if you can't see the sphere itself, you'll still see the indicator that says you are out of bounds right now.
Yes, or like closing up to it. So you can see like I wanted to go for this type of like at X point you like it starts getting like brighter and brighter.
Right. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Another was just like the placement tools in general. Placing a little rough.
And to be very clear, like kind of a holdover from a previous version of this.
Yes.
But with the focus, I think this system probably works fine. I mean, when it was developed for EVE, obviously it works great in EVE Online because EVE is trying to do one thing that is not so like placement specific.
Yeah.
Right. You can have a bunch of different things in one area, but it's not as important that those things be in a certain configuration. Whereas with Frontier, placement is the game. That is what matters most.
100%. And then when we added the up and down aspect, we used leftover like EVE features here, as you can see in the left picture, like with the arrows and the box around it. And then it was like also you rotated the structure only on one axis and with your right click, right? So we wanted to go into more of this direction of 3D software tools. We looked a lot to Blender,
we looked at a lot of things, Unreal Engine,
all of those
all
tools,
kinds of things.
and to like kind of just see like. And also like balance of are we just making a 3D editor versus a game? So
because games don't usually have as powerful placement tools, and so we're trying to find a balance between is it a video game or is it an editor?
An editor, basically.
Well, and I mean too, like there's I think a certain expectation players have that even if you have something in a game, there are going to be some kind of limitations to it. Yeah. Because you're right. Outside of that, you're just in like creative mode, right? 100%. Which is not. Well, we're obviously that is cool, and we want to give people a lot of freedom, but we're not giving them like every possible bit of freedom. That's
but with this, we like really wanted to kind of tailor to everyone, which is of course difficult because when you design for everyone, you design for no one.
Right.
But at least like getting the people that want total freedom, the people who want a restrictive grid, the people who want like total freedom, but like help, like tools that help you, like trying to check all of those boxes basically. And so we explored a lot in the free movement and rotation tools. A lot of ideas came up. Most of them were basically in the way of combining it, and this is where the are we doing an editor or a game discussion came in heavy, because the UX pattern here in most editors is that it is separate. Like you don't have the rotation, like that's a mode that you flip between.
Sure.
We ended up going for separate.
Okay.
Because also like it kind of just looked too busy, right?
Sure.
It also, we don't want to hide the structure. And also the ability to kind of like click on the structure, move it around on the 2-axis.
Yep.
But if the rotation tool is on the structure, then like
you can,
so it became kind of.
I think anybody who's played with Photoshop probably knows how aggravating it is to try and grab the corner of something and end up rotating it instead. Yeah,
exactly.
I sympathize.
But one added feature here that we're also aiming for is the fact that you will have like, so you will flip between them, like hotkeys, pressing RT to get each tool. Default being movement when you select it from the UI catalog, but you will have the positioning of it, all the coordinates live updated as you move it.
Okay.
And those are also editable, so you can manually input the exact degrees or coordinates.
I was going to ask, so not only do you have now the freedom to move things just with a mouse click in any angle that you want to, but you're also giving people like just positional data as well, and saying here, as if you know the positional data of where you want this specific thing, you like to individual degrees, you can now position things. Exactly. It is almost it is the kind of freedom that I think I've always wanted, but now that I see it, manifested, it's terrifying to me.
But no, it's also in the way of like if I'm using free movement and I use it in rotating and I accidentally like on the Z axis here on the screen, like put it to 55.6 something degrees, right? And I will need some way of correcting that. I can then just manually input 55.
And to Econ Martin's point in chat, shout out to Econ Martin. You can't see me because I'm over here. Shout out to you, Econ Martin. This is a great way people can share base information as well.
Yeah.
If you want to, hey, I have a thing in a certain orientation. Do you want your thing in a certain orientation too?
Ooh.
Here are the coordinates.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
Very cool.
And so for like snapping and alignment tools, we
are then snapping.
No snap.
Snapping. Okay.
That was another idea.
Nice.
So like I said, we wanted to take the free movement, like absolute free movement and exact positioning box. We wanted to take the people who want a restrictive grid, similar to other games, right? And this is that feature then for us, which is the grid snapping. This is kind of the inspiration that we were taking. And here you can see the initial exploration of that.
Interesting.
And this is then grid snapping, which will be the ability to turn that on, select the exact increments that you want to move the structure by. And so I can say, now move it every 1 kilometer, and it moves every 1 kilometer. Now move it every 5 kilometers, basically. And eventually, we will also then have a grid that you turn on in the grid snapping. That grid will change dynamically in accordance to the increment that you will have selected. So that will be a visual guide into how like visual indicator on where it's going to land next if you try to get along, basically.
And it's based off of the network node, the center of the network node. Yeah. So you can always rely on being able to position things consistently. It snaps to the increments from the node. Yeah.
Okay. That is, I mean, it goes without saying, ladies, this is nuts. I am the worst about this. Like, this absolutely triggers like the most anal part of my character with regard, like whenever I'm trying to put something down and it's just not quite in line. It's like several pixels over, and I'll just sit there staring at it for ages. And it'll never, like, the fact that we're now getting the ability to, I can see Chad is already very excited about this, which I knew they would be. That's why we decided to do this stream. Like, just being able to reliably say, okay, I want a row of things, a row of printers, for example, and I want them all over here. I don't have to sit here and like finagle them and just in line, and then I have that one that's just like, just a little bit out. Like, it would fucking piss me off, knowing they're all reliably in line. And what I think is super cool too, you mentioned this as well, not just position snapping that you can toggle on and off at a whim.
Yeah.
So you could turn snapping off entirely and just freeform, baby, like jazz.
Yeah.
So what you could also do is like, I've put up these 3, and then I'm gonna put another one, and I have it off. And if I like move it a little bit off and then toggle it on, it will snap to that.
Cool.
So that grid is consistent because it is calculated from the network.
Gotcha.
Basically.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you mentioned you can change the grid size as well. So you can have a grid
the grid will follow the increment selection, basically.
Gotcha.
And you can see it's like squared. And so the aim here is that it will kind of like visually indicate where it lands next, basically, in the squares.
Okay.
Basically.
This is I'm fully on board. This is hot as hell.
You will have 3 grids.
Okay.
8 on each axis. All of those will be toggleable on off as well. So this is going to be the extent of the grid snapping. So you turn on the grid, and you can customize which axis grid you want.
Sure.
None or all or just some. Turn on snapping and then customize the snapping, basically.
And this is something too that we talked about the other day when you and I sat down. This is, I mean, the most important thing, and I've always said this about players, especially people who have come from EVE Online or are familiar with EVE Online or who play games like EVE Online. They will absolutely lose their fucking minds if they don't have the option to turn the thing on or off. So seeing all of these options, and before you say anything in chat, I'm one of you. I know what I get it. Listen, I'm there. I understand. But seeing that all this is built in with the ability to, yeah, sure, I want this, but now I don't want this.
Yeah.
So I'm like a cat, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course, yeah, please.
And the thing is,
no more.
we're just building tools. We're basically just building the tools to help you, be creative and strategic with your base design, basically.
Hell yeah.
Then another feature is then going to be alignment guides, and this is where, for the people that want the free movement but don't want to restrict themselves to like a really restrictive grid, right? But kind of want that visual aid to help line up and align objects, right?
This is also where it gets really complicated for us.
Yeah, I bet it does.
And the thing is, it's like all reference that we find for any of these features that we want, there's like, oh, this is great, yes. Oh, it's in 2D. How do we convert that into 3D?
Yeah,
3D space.
It's the biggest
Making
headache.
our lives hard.
But we have solved for this now, which
Good.
is...
I admire your tenacity.
Yeah.
Because I know this is very difficult.
Yeah. So this is then alignment snapping, which will have guides and snapping. You can see in the first category there's like you can control the distance. You can have only like snapping on, and it will like snap to the distance that you select, basically. Then you can have both on when you have these guides, but you can also just not have snapping on and want the guides. So if I just move it there, and it kind of like snaps. So imagine these cubes here as basically the bounding boxes outside of a structure.
Sure.
So what we will do here is one of the biggest problem when it came to 3D space is that, oh, what if I rotate the structure,
right?
And then it's not like
it's still
how do we draw the lines, right?
You're still aligning to the cube, not necessarily the structure itself.
Yeah. So
for some reason our assemblies aren't just all a bunch of boxes.
Yeah,
no,
crazy.
They have all kinds of shapes.
Yeah, it's insane. The idea that things can be multiple shapes.
Yes.
I, for one, am just staggered by it. Okay, so let me.
So what we will do is then just like outside of the collision.
Yeah.
Sphere.
The sphere, yeah.
We will draw bounding boxes.
Okay.
Which will calculate from like the farthest ends of each axis.
Gotcha.
If I rotate the structure, then the bounding box will like dynamically change. We have not gone into deeper exploration of this one. This is one of the last additions that we will probably be adding to this.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a really exciting one because, like I was saying, like everyone, maybe I was a little bit crazy in wanting this added feature, but then I was like, I am the person that doesn't want the grid, but I also like.
Yeah, of course.
I want the tools to help me align stuff.
And of course, another thing that you can turn on and off, you have obviously the option to have the guides, the snapping, all of that. You can change the range at which something starts to snap, which is crazy by itself. That is not an option. I mean, I know that's an option in a lot of things. I go back to you, Photoshop. But it is always something that I thought was, in being able to easily edit what that distance is nuts. Just putting it on a single slider is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I see here too, and I may just be misreading this, but are you showing things snapping not just at edges, but also at the center of the bounding box as well? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Diagonal lines, baby. All right, we're gaming.
I'm just thinking about all the math that needs to be done.
I was going to say, this all sounds great on paper, but then you have to go put into practice again.
This is the very complex relationship between me and Irmageddon.
Irmageddon, this is why we're here.
CCP Hex is always like, can we do this? And I'm like, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we can.
Certainly. Yes, ma'am, we sure can.
Yes.
All right, carry on.
So when we pull all of this together, we have then started to think about hotkeys and how all of this works together. And for example, and this is just like early days of this all needs to be tested out. We want to try testing out nudging. You will be like toggling between R and T for the rotation and position, having the option to save the layout and undo, redo, all that
save,
nice.
You say? Okay, all right.
All
So
that
you
nice
have a. I mean, are you talking about like putting up ghosts up there that you didn't save and then they?
Yes.
Okay.
And so this leads directly into ghost building, which is an upcoming feature.
Yeah,
that,
I knew that.
You knew that?
Yeah.
Does the audience know what ghost building is?
I think they've probably seen. This is kind of like. I mean, no, not really.
You can tell them.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can tell them.
Fire it off.
Okay, so this
Do you have a slide for this?
No, I don't.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to go back to the main screen so they can just look at you big.
So this is the next iteration of the build mode that we will be working on. Basically, what I am now working on with the concept artist is basically the shader of the structure to represent the fact that like structures can be like physically like built structures that exist and a ghost. So the flow would be that you go into build mode, you place a ghost structure. You don't have to
commit to it yet.
Yeah, don't have to commit to it yet.
Right.
So you can basically also you don't have to pay for it immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
you don't
one
have
of
have the resources.
they have the resources in your ship, right?
Yep.
So that's one of the biggest hurdles here that we kind of identified as well, is that like something that costs really big, like you would have to have the ship inventory to like start construction on that, right?
Yeah.
So you would place the ghost structure, you would confirm its placement, save it, exit build mode, and then fly up to it and deliver the resources to that construction site in some way, which will then, this is also then opening up for people to build together.
Right. So you're
sooner.
You're okay. All right. So you're saying that what you'll do is you'll go into build mode. You'll basically lay out the blueprint in space of what you want, and then so those things will appear around you, and then you say, okay, I want to now go up to this thing. I take my ship, which you can now manually control to get over there, or will be able to manually control to get over there by the time this comes in. To be very clear, you manually go over there. You park your ship next to it. You deploy you press the building beam, and it fires a building laser at the thing, and it builds it. And then if you have homies around, the homies can come in and then also be building things from their ships in the same base, based on the template that you've laid down.
Yep. First iteration of this will be just you would just go and interact with that ghost through a bracket, get the UI, where you can deposit the resources. Everyone will have access to that. So all of us could go together and build a gate.
So you can grief other players by building their structures?
Yes.
Basically.
So let me ask you a separate question then now, because the when we're talking about this, having all these positions in space, you have this system now where you can adjust thing on a by degree, by X, Y, Z axis. Does this give you at some point down the line the ability to export a base design that you can then share with people if you wanted to?
That's definitely the idea that I have.
Yeah.
100%. Being able to save layouts, share them, sell them even.
Yeah.
Like this is
if you say, hey, I'm gonna make a refinery specifically for a certain kind of crude that I know if I find a crude rift that is gonna kick out this kind of special brand of crude. I don't know why I said it like that, but you know what I mean. This special style of crude. Then I can go over there and say, okay, I have the resource for it. I'm going to build my refinery on base so I don't have to do a bunch of hauling, if I have the materials for it, obviously. And that's just the thing you could just I know ahead of time, this is what it is. I put it down, everybody comes up, they all build the stuff in it, and now that we have the refinery there in space.
Yeah, and
Sick as hell.
And I mean, as well, like with just ties into defense and recovery as well, right? If I build my entire city and I'm really happy with it, but then someone comes in and knocks everything, I had that blueprint saved, so I can now just go save blueprints. Yep. Okay, I still have the schematics of what I built, right? That's like I say, in the future.
Down the line.
But it's definitely an idea that I want to get in there as well.
So in terms of things that we can kind of look forward to in the short term, obviously, we're going to talk in just a moment about what's coming tomorrow, because we're going to see it, because Irmageddon has it on her machine, which is actually my machine. But not actually my machine. It's CCP Config's machine. Listen, it's a communal machine.
Whose machine am I on?
Whose machine is this? But then in terms of past that, we have snapping, which is coming maybe cycle 4, early in cycle 4. Snapping.
So one of the things we've been struggling with terminology for all these different features.
And we're not calling it snapping.
So I had a final slide.
Yep, let's go back to this.
This one.
You're on it.
So.
Okay, very good. I could have just waited.
Yeah. So tomorrow we will have the first iteration.
Oh, snapping is coming tomorrow.
Yes.
So the grid snapping, which
sure.
It's just the incremental movement
based
on a grid.
Yeah. Okay.
But then there's the other kind of snapping, which is things coming close to each other and
snapping
together.
Alignment snapping.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That's later.
I had this backwards. I thought rotation was coming tomorrow, and then grid snapping was coming later. So I am actually jazzed because I love grid snapping. It is the thing that is the most exciting for me. I mean, everything's exciting for me. Yeah. I'm a very excitable person.
Yeah, and then like in cycle 4 we will have rotation on all axes, and then second iteration of grid snapping, which is also like the ability to incrementally rotate as well. Select it, always rotate by 45 degrees or whatever.
Oh, okay.
All right, but so both of those are. We are gonna live demo.
We're gonna live demo.
Showcase some stuff.
Yeah.
And before we do, though, I just want to I want to say something as well, because one of the questions we always get whenever we put out streams like this is they're like, okay, this is a lot of really cool stuff, but they're like, does that mean that we're not going to be getting new structures for a while? And the answer to that always is no. I mean, you two have done a ton of work on this, but we have other game designers working on other aspects of base building. Those people who are like authoring new structures or working on what the structure is supposed to do, how are they supposed to look, how are they supposed to feel, that is all happening elsewhere that will also incorporate these elements when they're ready.
Yeah. So like this is one of the things that me and
Cake Machine?
Yes.
Yes.
Talk about a lot as well, is then like we decided to start with build mode because it is an easy one, right? It is good update, but it's also a good starting point, because then we go into either direction, right? Then we think about how do you complete that loop with the ghost building and the construction beam and all of that, but then going backwards with the network node, like what is the network node, how do you uncover it or find it or like acquire it basically. We want to make more of a ritual out of that, but then it's also about then taking and deconstructing that, right? Taking the power management of the thing, the network node. The network node only being the space management tool, right? That unlocks the build mode.
The larger build mode.
Yeah. Okay. And then we manage then to trickle down into, okay, what is then the power management and all of that? Because all of those assemblies are basically children of the network node, right? Sure. But then we also have to think about that in the context of portables, right? Because there's a big issue with portables being way too viable, depending on like the getting to a base and actually going and starting a network node. The big issue, one of the big issues as well, is like we are not teaching the same kind of gameplay patterns prior to you landing at the L point, right? Yeah. So like all of a sudden getting to the wall of like, oh, now I have to fuel all of my structures, right? Yeah. So we have to like really think about like, okay, how can we make the portables like the less viable, short term, like just I need this now structures, right? But while they still introduce you to the pattern of playing base building on a bigger scale, right?
Cool. Okay, I like that a lot. And I mean, and two, on top of that, the we're not just looking at how do you build a base once you've got it. We're also talking in the hopefully not too distant future, we'll be talking about like, okay, where do you build those bases? Because right now you just go to a Lagrange point. All the Lagrange points are very similar. Yeah. Like, what do those Lagrange points look like in the future? Like, how does that space? How do you interact with the place you put your base down? Because in a lot of survival games, I'm going to put my base down by the river, or I'm going to put my base over here on the hill, or I'm going to put my base on the mountain, and all of those things change the dynamics pretty significantly. But currently, in the current iteration of Frontier, they all kind of feel like, unless you have one of those kind of rare L points that has like some big structure in it, they all feel very similar.
Yeah, we want it to be meaningful.
Yes.
Choice.
It's gotta feel like you're making a decision, not just this is the one that is available.
No, 100%, and it ties into like other features being like worked on concurrently with I don't know their CCP names, but basically the system view and the landscapes and how we distribute content and all of that. So we are also talking a lot with them on like L points. What are L points?
You did just say a thing we have not said on here yet, so I'm not going to tell you what it was, chat, but CCP Hex just did a little bit of a cheeky leak.
Oh my lord.
It's good stuff though. CCP Overload is laughing.
I've already cut the feed.
Very good.
No, but at least thinking about how we distribute content and how that might play into the base building loop and the L points and how you discover them and their variability by qualities, by attributes, by whatever. Like, could we... Are L points more valuable than others? Is there more like resources by certain points and certain like creating that pattern recognition basically and the exploration? So, yeah.
I love it. Okay, are you ready to pull the trigger on your good stuff?
Yes.
All right,
Absolutely.
then let's go to, I think it's this screen. There we go. All right. I'm going to actually minimize us real fast so they can see the whole action.
Yeah, so what I'm going to just show real quick.
Before we go any further, CCP Overload, do you mind clicking down the bottom of the taskbar where you see the OBS icon down there? And just there's another window. That one. Can you bring it up? There we go. Now we can see it.
There we go. Now you guys can see it.
Now we can see it as well, so I don't have to just like look over your shoulder here.
Yeah. So I might as well just mention some stuff about like what came out in the last patch, which is also includes panning. Like we kind of didn't really mention this properly, but we can pan now, which is something we're gonna improve later on. Yeah. All the camera work. But we wanted you to just have some tools for now to more easily build.
And this is going to be, I mean, this sort of being able to pan around is should be something that people who, like I said, have played with the structure editor in Eve will be familiar with.
Yeah.
And this is something that you, like anybody who's used this kind of 3D camera should be, again, fairly comfortable with in general.
Yeah. It's going to get better.
Okay.
We're definitely working on camera. I have tons of plans for the camera. So when I'm normally moving, I have the grid snapping off, and it's just the normal smoothing. And then I can turn it on, set it to that we have these values. We're going to be iterating on them. For example, just 0.5 kilometers.
Okay.
Got that little
just a little bit of a snap,
stutter,
a little bit of snap,
and then the 1 kilometer.
Bigger snap.
And this is in all directions, of course.
Got it. Okay, cool.
And then we go to 2.5.
Whew.
Very big.
Oh, yeah.
And all the way up to 5. And the main reason we have these really big values is that some of our structures are bigger than others.
Yeah.
So when we try to build this giant thing here, it makes more sense.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I was going to say, it's you're not just like, especially if you want something that, I mean, I love that you've stacked these together already. That's
yes, so I keep making new features in the game and then spending way too much time playing around with them. To see how, if they're fun or not.
Yeah, this is very good.
Fun. So I've been stacking things up, and the other thing that I just got working today or a few hours ago is rotation. This is very, very early.
Okay.
So let's see if I can get this to work. Yeah. So
look at that
rotation. You got that pitch, yaw, roll.
Yeah, love that.
All that stuff, and you can, if I can show what I was trying to do, I was trying to make a cheeky little pyramid, upside down pyramid here.
And so you have.
I tried, yes.
I mean, it looks pretty good.
It's
not too bad. I mean, it's better than I can do.
And this is when, that's obvious. Sorry.
Okay. All right, asshole. I see. Fucking at the desk for 5 minutes. Jesus.
This took way too long, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And that's because I don't have the tools yet, and that's what we're working on.
Sure.
The tools of being able to do increment snapping, about alignment snapping, the grid snapping, all that stuff is going to make creating these structures much easier. This took, a good 30 minutes maybe to get the alignment right, and it's so bad still. So I'm not proud of that at all.
I would not be not proud of it. It looks really, really good.
And then I created a bunch of these hangers, and I used the grid snapping so that I could align it really nice. And I mean, it's really fun and satisfying to be able to align things finally. Because before we added the grid snapping and you were just moving something, the values for the position of this is giant floating point numbers.
Yeah.
I'm just moving in a tiny little bit, and the numbers are so high.
Right.
So as soon as you get the grid snapping, we kind of clean those numbers up and make it just much
very
more
simple.
Easier.
Yeah. I love this. I mean, obviously, I love this. I am kind of curious what the TTP is going to be on this. Now that we're able to snap things together, I have to imagine it's going to be very, very short.
Yes, and
somebody even said it's already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is sick. It's one of the things we've always kind of talked about is, being able to fulfill this fantasy of building things in space and building your city in space. And a lot of people will look at the structures that we have in the game right now and be like, okay, these are cool. But my ideal city in space is if they were all doing this. And before that to now, we were like, well, sorry, that's tough nuts. Like, we can't really do that. But now seeing this on the horizon, on the not so distant horizon, that you can, and it seems like a silly, like a little thing, right? Like, oh yeah, you can turn the structure sideways, but like that's part of it, right? That's part of the.
And we want the players to be able to express themselves and do cool visuals, like make their base look really cool.
Yeah.
But also defensible.
Sure.
So, you know, I've noticed players on the Discord talk about doing giant, like Dyson-sphere style, like defenses. You can, when you get the rotation and the snapping, you're going to be able to do that.
Do Dyson-spheres.
Yeah.
So
it'll not be quick doing a giant Dyson-sphere, but you'll be able to do it.
Very good.
I mean, you can spend tons of time playing around with this.
I have just been asked to ask a question. Zalorius asked, did we hear rotational snapping, like 15 degrees, 45 degrees, 9 degrees, and maybe rotational alignment snapping? Question mark.
I don't know what alignment snapping for rotation would look like.
That would be kind of tricky. I guess if you had something that is at a certain alignment, you could, or at a certain rotation, snap it with. Yeah.
But what CCP Hex also talked about and showed is that you can type in the actual values.
Right. So you could do it manually right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
This will, you know, we'll have the increment snapping for rotation as well. So it'll, you know, instead of being this smooth, it'll jump for maybe 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 10, 15 degrees, something like that.
Got it.
That's going to be coming in the next, not tomorrow, but
before too long.
Yes.
Yeah, beginning of cycle 4, which we are drawing to the end of cycle 3 here before too long. So this is not like distant. I mean, we're talking like within, maybe even within the end of this year. Potentially.
With and
some
like we said in the beginning, we will release it as soon as it's ready to play with. Basically, we want the feedback. So all of these aspects, all of these tools will be released. One at a time, probably, most likely, but also in like
sideways gate. I hadn't even thought about that. That's really funny.
But yeah, also in like smaller releases. So we will have the grid snapping tomorrow with the functionality. We will not have the grid. So the grid will come later once the art team.
Gotcha. I was gonna ask about the grid. Yeah. Cool. And the one more question that we had was. Or I guess I won't. It's not really a question. I'll just let you both know now that we're sitting here. Here's the first little bit of feedback: is import and export is like the only thing these fuckers are talking about. So maybe something that we can be thinking about here in the not so distant future.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely.
I mean, this is sick. I knew it was going to be a great stream. I'm very wise in that way. I got that dog in me. Really, is how it boils down to. Let's go. You are concluded?
Yeah, pretty much.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, gang, listen. First of all, I love everything about this. I mean, it has been well established that I'm kind of a sicko for this sort of thing. One of my favorite games of all time, other than EVE Online and Frontier, to be very clear, is City Skylines, and I love just being able to neuron activation is just so that's the good stuff, baby. And seeing this kind of now, come to, because now I'm looking at it going, okay, I can see streets, I can see pathways, especially now that we have fucking manual controlling coming in the not so distant future.
I feel like we need highways in space.
It does kind of like it feels now, because one of the things, and we'll talk more about this later on this week when we're going to talk some more about manual controls, which I know a lot of these jackals really want to hear more about, which I don't blame you. I'm one of you. Is you change the game from just being a thing where you sit and watch a thing happen to a thing where you're actually doing something in moment to moment, right? So it's not just, hey, there's a printer over there I want to go to, right-click approach, and then you just approach the thing and sit in front of it. It's now here's the printer over there. I need to move myself over towards it. And the whole thing feels so much more dynamic. Mm-hmm. Now you're in a situation where you're not just clumping all your structures together because, okay, I'm just going to right-click approach and go over there. Now you need to lay out, you have to plan out, okay, how easy is it going to be to move around my base? If I just have a huge clump of structures, okay, cool. It's not going to be easy to navigate around these things, and how easy is that going to be to use? Do I have to, does it make sense for me to put my printers next to my refineries or my manufacturing bay or my shipyards and all that? you just have to start thinking about these things because the layout suddenly matters a lot more than it has in the past.
And on the flip side, you might not want somebody that's coming to destroy your base to have an easy time navigating it.
Correct. Yeah, this is very, this is, for all you Warhammer nerds out there, this is a very Cadia thing where the cities are hard to navigate because they make them more defensible that way. The planet broke before the guard fell.
That's what we want to see. We want to see you be like creative in your defenses.
Hell yeah. This is super, super cool. We're going to be talking more with you two, obviously, in the not so distant future when we have more and more of the stuff getting rolled out. Yeah. Obviously, I want to see more of this whole sort of action too, because I love these live demonstrations. And of course, obviously, chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This is the kind of thing we've done some in the past, and we want to start doing more here soon. And we're actually, it's the reason why we've done so many more of these recently. We did with CCP Paragon. We did one with CCP Cake Machine last week, and now, of course, you two, Hex and Armageddon. And the reason for that is, as we've described before, we are coming kind of at the peak of a production cycle. As we kind of go through, we have exploration early on, then pre-development, then development, and then we have things go out to the live server. And as we're getting now towards the crests of one of these, we have more and more stuff we can actually show people. That's not just, here are some things I threw on a whiteboard. Yeah. That stuff is cool. But I doubt anybody on our team wants people to see their insane whiteboard ramblings show up on stream.
No, that's why I had to make a slideshow.
And it's a great slideshow.
I'm not going to pull my Figma up here. It's very organized.
I've seen your Figma. It's it is the darkness. So once again, everybody, thank you all so much for joining us for this strange and unique edition of Frontier Mondays. I've been, of course, CCP Jötunn, joined by my friends, CCP Hex, CCP Irmageddon, and of course, just off screen, CCP Overload. Hang on, we're going to go to this one here. There he is. Look at him. There we go. Beautiful. And until next time, friends, we'll see you on the Frontier. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you later. Oh, bye. Wait, before we go,
Whoa.
I was wrong. I'm glad I didn't press the button yet. This Friday, we're going to be doing Frontier Friday like normal. This is not a replacement. And we will be doing some really cool stuff with WASD controls. Manual controlling is the future. It's coming. And you're going to hear all about it on Friday. So check that one out. And also, Catalyst is coming tomorrow. And on Wednesday, I'm going to be in a cave. So watch CCP TV on Wednesday, too. I should have gotten this done before the end of it. Okay, now the stream is over. Thank you so much. Bye. Goodbye.